You know, you think of the North Koreans, they've been sanctioned at the yin-yang, right? I mean, again and again and again. No country has faced more sanctions than the North Koreans, far more than Iran at its height. Yet once again, they're continuing to proceed with a nuclear program that has them now with a satellite in space, and talk that they're ready to get nuclear weapons that can be released at a moment's notice. To Bud McFarlane, a former Reagan National Security Advisor. But I know when it comes to North Koreans, we have to accept everything with a big old grain of salt. But they are doing some scary stuff. And that's despite all our threats, despite all our sanctions, despite all our actions. But they're proceeding pretty rapidly. What do you make of it?
Well, they are. You're right about that, Neil. They have demonstrated that they have a 3-stage rocket now and can put a payload into orbit. That means they could also deliver a warhead of equivalent weight and size to a target here in the United States and elsewhere throughout Asia. So, yes, they're making progress. They're being led by an erratic, unpredictable, rather unstable leader right now. And so, yes, this is getting more and more serious. We have the capability, both in the region and between our country and theirs, to be able to prevent and cope with the kind of threats that he's making. But still, this is serious. We should be doing a lot more than we are to cope with not only the nuclear bomb or missile, but also things less than that that could do an enormous damage. Things like an electromagnetic pulse that could put our electricity throughout the country literally out of action. So, very serious. We need to pay much more attention to this escalation of capability in North Korea.
You know, Donald Trump, the front-running candidate for the Republican nomination, has said the North Koreans wouldn't even try this with him in the Oval Office. And if they do, quoting here, they would regret it. What do you think he means by that? What do you think of him and how he'd handle this?
I don't think he knows what he means by that. This kind of bluster is truly out of place. There are ways that you can look seriously at how you deter, hopefully, but cope with any kind of erratic behavior or launch of missiles, and yet you have to maintain a capability and a full-time, 24/7, 360 presence of the right kind of system. We have that in place now. Mr. Trump wouldn't know anything about that.
Well, what did you think? I know it's veering a little off course here, but I want to pick your brain on what Mitt Romney was doing and putting himself out there saying this guy's a bad egg for us. We don't want him as our nominee.
Well, I think that's a courageous thing for Governor Romney to do. He's right. In terms of the relationship with countries that are important to us, whether we're talking about European allies or countries that deliver oil, the lifeblood of the global economy, Mr. Trump hasn't even been to most of these places and doesn't know how to develop a relationship with anyone that's based on more than just bluster. Substantive policy for trade, defense, national security, these are very foreign domains to Mr. Trump.
Bud, thank you very much. Always good having you. Bud McFarlane.